5 high growth stocks to watch next week, my friends. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I got the clothing line to prove that fact, and today we are going to come to you with 5 juicy stocks to watch next week. Yes, we have a variety of different kinds of stocks. We have one here that's $2.50 a share. We have one that's over $40 a share. We got some juicy things coming to you in today's video. Everything that we cover today is what I consider to be a growth stock. I think there is huge potential for all of these companies over the next couple of years at the very least. Now, all of the companies we cover today, I actually have full videos on, okay? So if you want more information on the individual companies, you can check them out afterwards. But today, essentially, we're going to be going through price action. We're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis, seeing if we can find some good entry points. And I'm also going to be letting you guys know what price points I'm going to be looking towards, to potentially buy more of these companies, because I already own a few of them as well. So right before we do get into the video, right before we give you some juicy stocks to put on your watch list for next week, can I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, my friends? Please drop me a comment down below and let me know what's on your watch list for next week. I'm interested. And if you aren't already new around here, what are you waiting for, my friend? Hit that juicy red subscribe button, join the family of investors, and get juicy stocks like this every single day of your life. Also, if you're interested, please hit that first link in the description, my friends. Sign up to my private Discord group. You will get access to my buy and sell alerts. You will know literally every single time I buy or sell anything in real time, how much, what I spent for it, the reasoning behind it, etc. And if you want 4 free stocks on Webull, 2 of which are valued up to $3,700, that's a whole lot of money for anybody. Hit the second link in the description, deposit $100. It's that simple. Now, the first company we're going to speak about today is the cheapest company we're going to be speaking about today. Ticker symbol DS, Drive Shack. So I did make a video on these guys recently, and I called them in my Discord. I think they were at about 195, so they've already run up over 30% since then. I'll just move myself over for a second so you can see they're currently at 255. They made highs of about 268 or so. I mean, back in mid-October, this company was trading literally at about $1 a share. So it's already gone on a very big run-up. But if I zoom out, you will see that this company is no stranger to big volatility. I mean, look, if we go back here, towards the middle of May, we were about $1 a share. Huge spike up, over 100%. Little bit of a downwards movement, and then they went up and made their all-time highs, right? They briefly broke above $3 a share before going into a prolonged, and I mean a very prolonged downward period, where they lost about 65% of their value. And again, we see a spike up, we see a big downward movement, okay? Now we've gone on this huge run up. So this is one of the reasons why I found it quite difficult to actually pull the trigger on this stock, because I know it's a penny stock. A lot of people will want to swing trade this, a lot of people will make quick money, and that is awesome. But I'm actually looking at this as a company, and I am looking at it as a long-term investment, so I want to be quite particular with my entry points. I want to risk as little as possible and have the most to gain, and if I miss out, I miss out. There's always, every single day in the stock market, there's so many opportunities out there. You just have to find the right ones. So here's what I'm going to say, guys. I think the floor is somewhere around here. Somewhere around $1.05 a share, which represents huge downside from current prices. Now, that's the floor. I think that's pretty much worst case scenario. But with penny stocks, worst case scenario happens a lot more often than you will see with blue chips, or even with SPACs or even EV stocks. The company has traded around this mark many times in the past. I'm just going to put it that way, my friends, but it always bounces off of there and shoots towards the moon. Now, one thing that makes this most recent run up a little bit different is earnings came out, okay? And you can see they reacted terribly to earnings, but afterwards it did lead to this quite large run up in price. So aside from 105, where would I be looking for an entry point? Well, the first thing I want to show you guys is the MACD. Simply put, guys, this stock is overbought right now. Not only is the MACD telling us that, but also the RSI, okay? Last time we were this overbought, boom, we went on that big crash. That's why I'm not rushing into this. The reason I didn't buy when I called it at 197 is because I was still doing due diligence. I was still doing research, and I know a lot of people will buy a penny stock and then do the research, but me, I'm just not very comfortable doing that right now. If I had looked into this company a few days earlier, maybe I would have bought in around then. And what is also interesting, around that price point, pretty much where I called them at 197, look, a lot, and I mean a lot of price action here. Look at this consolidation here, look at these peaks, look at this peak. A lot of interesting price action there. So this is one point I am looking towards. Now again, this is one of those weird ones. I wouldn't necessarily say it's an area of support or resistance. It's just an area of interest. One I think we will see again. Now on the other hand, if we don't see this again anytime soon, I think this stock just keeps going up and up and up. and I miss out, and it is what it is. Now another very obvious point of interest is right around here. I mean, look at all this price action. There's an awful lot here as well. Again, it's near our peaks. We peaked here, we consolidated here, right around 175. So that's just about 15% lower than the 197 mark we had laid out. This is the thing about penny stocks though, my friends. Anything can happen. Really anything can happen. The smallest piece of news, they don't need much volume at all to run. I mean, I know I called them and they went up over 30% and that's awesome. But I mean, guys, it could have gone the opposite way. They could have gone down 30%. That's how penny stocks work. So my advice is, if this is a company of interest to you, just do your research, do your due diligence, make sure you're strict with how much money you're willing to lose and invest based off of that. Because yes, penny stocks can make you so much money, but you can also lose a whole lot of money. Now, the second company we're speaking about today, my friends, is Virgin Galactic. I mean, they have to make the list for today. So you can see right now we're at about $32 a share, and very recently we went all the way up, very briefly, to about $36 a share. So there has been quite a bit of volatility as of late for very evident reasons. I've made 2 videos on this company in the last week or so. So again, if you want more information, if you want to know why this is happening, please do check them out. But essentially, the window for our test flight opened yesterday. They have been keeping us up to date on Twitter, saying that as long as weather conditions are good, it could happen as early as today. Maybe by the time this video is out. Point is, it could happen very, very soon. And if that test flight is to be successful, you know, Virgin Galactic's not the only thing going to space. Their stock is as well. Now, if it doesn't go to plan, if it gets prolonged further, the opposite happens and they come back down to earth. So let's say something goes wrong, and let's just say it gets prolonged again. So right now we're at about $32 a share. I would consider somewhere around here, best case scenario, somewhere around $27.50. But more realistically, I think we'd be coming back down into these ranges here, somewhere between $21 and $23.50. And then again, the floor for this company, which I really don't see happening unless something really bad happens, is about $15 a share. Now, on the other hand, do you want price targets for if things go well? Now, there's one very obvious price target. It's our previous all-time high, about $42.50 a share. And I know that doesn't seem very far away, but guys, that's still pretty much, what, 30% upside from where we are right now. So that's a very obvious place to be looking towards. If things go well, are we going to get up there? Are we going to break through it with speed and maybe continue up towards the 50s? Or is that going to create this area of resistance? Will we perhaps bounce back down, create some sort of new support around here? They're the price points I'm going to be looking at. So for next week, you know, hopefully all goes well, especially for us current investors. I know a lot of us are up considerably in this company. If you've been on my channel for a long time now, I've been screaming buy below 15 and 17 respectively. So a lot of us are up, you know, 80 to 100%. A lot of us also like having bigger positions in companies we really believe in. And if you're a long-term investor, something as simple as a delay, which doesn't really change fundamentals but can drive a stock's price down lower, it can actually be a good thing for you, and it can give you a chance to accumulate more shares if you don't have your full position built yet. So that's why you guys need to be watching these over the weekend and next week to see what happens with this test flight. But I think we're going to see some big moves one way or the other, for better or for worse. Okay, there had to be a SPAC in there. We're going to be speaking about BFT, okay? Merging with Paysafe. Again, very up-to-date video made on these guys recently. Right now we're at about 15.15. If I show you the after hours, we're actually closer to 15.50, okay? After hours, this stock has gone up about 10.5% so far. Now, it's only Saturday, my friends. A lot could happen by Monday market open. It could be up a whole lot more, or it could come back down to earth. But as of right now, after market closed, some bullish sentiment towards BFT. Now, this is something I've discussed in the past before. You guys know I'm always looking for gaps. You know, I really am, and there's a very obvious gap created here. It's a little bit different when it comes to SPACs. The gap is justified. The gap is created because we now know what company we are going to be merging with. Now, that's not to say that this gap can't be filled, but in my personal opinion, it doesn't need to be, or it doesn't even want to be. I'd consider this the start of our price action. Never even mind all of this here. This was before we knew what company we were merging with. This was just people investing in a blank check company in hopes that they strike gold. So when we look past this, if we just start from here, the price action's been okay, relatively healthy. Obviously, this is a absolutely huge candle to the upside, but aside from that, it was okay. For a SPAC, this is absolutely fine. Now, this is a company I opened an initial position in, and I have to tell you guys, the more research I've done into this company, the more bullish I have became, in all honesty. When you compare these guys to Square or PayPal, when you see their transaction numbers, yeah, I've become a lot more bullish, I'm going to put it that way. So this is one that I'm more than likely going to dollar cost average up in next week, considering I'm already up a little bit on this company. I don't like doing it, but it has to be done sometimes. There's nothing wrong with hurting your cost basis sometimes if it means that you can build a bigger position at a price you're still happier to pay. So nothing has really changed since I brought my last video out. I've just got to do more research. I've seen how people have been reacting to this company. I like it. I'm keeping my eyes on them, and you guys should too. Okay, my friends, Nio. So, I've been covering these guys for an awful long time on the channel. An awful long time. I was one of the few people who, you know, wasn't screaming buy when we were in the low 40s, in the 50s. Now, to be fair, a lot of EV stocks have taken a hit lately, but Nio did recently come out and say that they're going to issue at least 60 million shares in a new offering next week. We need to watch these guys. We need to see what happens price action wise. You can see that, guys, on the monthly chart, Nio is now down about 13.08%. The MACD is still bearish and the RSI is quite low, but it's not the lowest it's ever been. I think there is a little bit more room to go down lower. I mean, I know people were calling me crazy when I had set around $31.50 to $32 as a point of interest, somewhere they potentially could come back down to. Keep in mind, guys, I'm an investor. I bought Nio in the 14s. I want them to do well, just as well as all you investors do. But I also like to be realistic. Now, a lot has happened since I spoke about these numbers, okay? Do we come back down there? Probably not. But what I'm seeing on the charts, I'm seeing bears, I'm seeing new shares being issued. If ever it is going to come back down to those levels, it's going to be next week in my opinion. So just keep an eye on them, especially if you're an investor. I have no intentions of selling at these prices and trying to pick them up, you know, 15 to 20% cheaper, because it may well never happen. I'm just going to hold. But I just want you guys to be aware. I've been getting asked about Nio quite a bit recently. We have a lot, and I mean truly a lot of price action right around the $40 to $41 price mark. So keep an eye on it, my friends. See if we dip into the 30s, or else, you know, maybe the market will just say, we don't care if you issue new shares. Let's just go back up to 55. Worth keeping an eye on either way, though, if you are an investor, or if you're looking to dollar cost average, maybe you're one of the people who bought in the 50s, or if you want to open a position for the first time. I think next week will be a good opportunity to do so, more than likely. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, the last company of today, Desktop Metals, ticker symbol DM. You may have known these guys as ticker symbol T or NE. It was a SPAC. The merger went through. We had gone on an insane, a truly insane run up. I mean, look at this. From, let's say, the 20th of November at about $10.50 a share, we went all the way up to about $28 a share, my friends. It was insane. So this is a company who I was actually red in. I think I was down about 10% for a little while. Then I went up over 100%. And now it's come crashing back down. And when I say crash, I mean crashing back down, my friends. Look at this chart. And, you know, this is why I preach patience so often in this game, my friends. I mean, when we went on this big bullish run, there was nobody saying that, you know, a big crash is going to happen. There was a lot of people saying that it's a good time to buy, momentum's finally on our side, etc. I'm speaking when we were in the 20s. Because, you know, when the market's going in one direction, a lot of people just think it's going to go in that direction forever. But just as quick as it goes up, it can come absolutely crashing back down. But this is absolutely fine. I mean, I don't think this run up was justified. I don't think this is justified. Hopefully we can just consolidate now and make a new floor. Instead of that floor being around $10 or being around $12, hopefully it can be around $17 or $18. And if we can do that, as a long-term holder of this company, I'm going to be very, very happy. Again, guys, I don't need to see moves like this. I don't care for them. If I'm swing trading, which, you know, I may do every now and again, yeah, this is fantastic. But from a long-term point of view, when I see this happening, you know at some stage it's going to come crashing back down. What I will say is we're very close to the 50-day moving average now. The RSI looks to be potentially a little bit oversold, okay, but the MACD is a little bit bearish as well, so hard to know what's going to happen. I'm hoping there's going to be some consolidation next week. But again, guys, look, they're at about 17 a share. They made their way up to 28.30 a share. If this is a company you missed out on, maybe next week will be a good time to take a look at them. I am potentially thinking about increasing my stake in the company, but no guarantees on that one yet. But anyway, my friends, there are 5 juicy growth stocks to keep an eye on next week. If you enjoyed today's video and if you have watched all the way until the end, you, my friend, are a true legend and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And if you appreciate me, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? It really helps me out. Drop me a comment down below again. Let me know what you think of my picks for next week. And also, let me know what you're watching. And please, my friend, if you are indeed new around here, hit that juicy red subscribe button. It's free and it's the easiest way to support me. If you're interested in finding out if I do buy any of these companies, hit that first link in the description and you will be the first one to find out, my friend. You also get access to over 40 private channels. It's a beautiful community, so much value in there. And if you want your 4 free stocks on Webull, hit the second link in the description, deposit $100, 2 of those are valued at $3,700. It's really easy. But anyway, my friends, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed weekend. I will see you for another video very soon. Peace.